Because it's going to kill our state. It's, you know, we're going to bankrupt our country.
Chairman is Senator Inouye, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Peter Pace, is chairman, and Defense Secretary Gates are testifying. So we want to remind them that we'd like them to end the war as soon as possible.
Lydia, what are you I would like a number. Huh? What do you have for the latest business?
That's why we're here.
And the other one's going to be
I'm aware of this. Gonzalez, the media is overflowing. We all family, remember?
Sure. That's the key part. I'm surprised it's not privatized already. It seems like everything's private. But we'll tell.
Secretary Gates, the 2002 authorization to use force in Iraq authorized the President to use force for two purposes. The first was to defend the national security of the United States against the continuing threat posed by Iraq. The second was to, quote, enforce all relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions against Iraq.
Also, my impression is that that it's the view of the President that it still continues to authorize the actions that we are taking in Iraq.
If, Mr. Secretary, you determine that in September the surge has not been viable in terms of securing Baghdad and reducing terror, what would your recommendation to the President be? Bush is said to have told the Saudis that America will not withdraw from Iraq during his presidency. This gives us 18 months to plan, said one Saudi source.
Not to impeach him.
I think it's our view, Senator, that the end state, and Senator Judd alluded to this a little bit, that the end state operations in Iraq is that there will be a continuing need for a U.S. presence and a relationship, security relationship with the Iraqis for some period of time. What that number of troops involves is precisely, I have no idea, because it was the creation of a center of excellence for both TBI and for post-traumatic stress. And that's something I take very seriously. I just was at the Center for the Intrepid last week, and I think it's a great model for what we might be able to do here in terms of, it is in a difficult area, both in terms of terrain and in terms of politics.
For the next year, there's some disturbing news this morning that I heard about alleged or suspected terrorists in the U.S. getting armaments and weapons to attack military forces here in the U.S. And it reminded me that we have a new Department of Homeland Security, still relatively new. And is there a degree of cooperation between our military forces, the Department of Defense, and the Department of Homeland Security to successfully discover things like this and then move quickly to deter an attack?
18 months, the FBI
Let me give a quick answer and then ask General Pace to follow up.
They
The
took him
answer
in.
to your question is yes. I think
Why
that
try and make
this
us
operation
afraid now?
relating to Fort Dix was an extraordinary piece of law enforcement work.
In military forces, but it reminds me that we don't have a draft in place. We don't have conscription. We're operating with your leadership on all volunteer force. I know in the budget request you have money
draft you got
that you
going
request
on.
in order.
Yes, sir. There's about, I think, $4.3 or $4.4 billion in the budget for recruitment and retention. I'm happy to report to you that the active component, all the active components of the military met the recruitment targets in April. The Army is at about 94% for April, but they're at over 100% year to date. The Army Reserve is struggling a little bit, but I think in part it's because they're competing. We're about 94% of the goal for the second re-enlistment. So I would say, and these are people who are enlisting knowing exactly what they're getting into.
No, they're not.
And knowing exactly where they're going to end up having to fight. So these are young people who are signing up knowing the challenges that they're going to face. And it's a,
No, they're not. My nephew signed up to be a dental hygienist. Like, they're going to do that. They're going to put him through basic, give him an M16 and send him to the sand.
Substantial requests for additional funds.
Can't buy me war. Everybody knows it, so can't buy me war. No, 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 no. Bush wants billions more for war to keep up the bloody fight. Bush wants billions more for war, though we know it's just not right. We voted for you for Congress. Congress can't buy me war, can't buy me war. War.